start with winning an election. Usually the last one you're going to get to have for real.
Stacey Abrams, queen of I'm Still the Governor in My Head, is now warning us that Trump winning an election means it's the last one we'll ever have. Sorry, Stacey, but that's some primetime, binge-worthy bullshit. Welcome to Steadfast and Loyal. I'm Jimmy Parker. Buckle up, guys. This BS meter's about to melt down like a bad reactor.
Over the weekend, you went viral for laying out 10 steps to autocracy. Run us through those steps so we all know.
So start with winning an election. Usually the last one you're going to get to have for real. Number two, you have an expansion of executive power. The president decides he wants more than he's supposed to have. Number three, you start to make the Congress complicit. So you weaken them and you neutralize or neuter the judiciary. Like, the Supreme Court giving you unfettered power and saying we don't have the ability to stop things. Then you move on to firing all of the people who know how to make government work. So you gut the civil service. And you do that because you want to break democracy so people forget the stuff that used to get done. So you can't get your Social Security check. So the CDC doesn't know what diseases are anymore. Then you put in place these loyalists, people who are only responsive to you. You put them in charge of the FBI so they go after your enemies. You put them in charge of the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense, so they can signal to their friends and tell them all about the evil plans that you have. Then you make certain that you break how we communicate. So you criticize the media and you create your own echo chamber of propaganda. You call it truth even though you know you're lying. Then you go to the next step, and I call that step 7. Because at step 7, you have to blame someone. You have to blame people for the broken government, for the broken promises. So you go after DEI. You go after the vulnerable, the dispossessed. You go after any community that doesn't look like what you think power should be. While you're doing that, you make certain that you, in step 8, you eliminate anybody who can help them. So you sue law firms that do pro bono cases. You go after philanthropies and accuse them of giving money to the wrong people. You go after colleges and universities that can teach people possibly what else they should know. You get to step 9 and you start to encourage and incentivize private violence. You send the U.S. Marines into spaces they should not be. You send the National Guard in. You kidnap people off of the streets and pretend that's normal, because that's how you quiet dissent, because you make everyone afraid that if they don't do what you want, they might be next. And once you've done those 9 steps, step 10 is easy. That's when you decide there won't be new elections, because everyone's either afraid, poor, broken, or complicit.
All right, guys, let's have some fun with this one, because nothing says serious political analysis like a paranoid grocery list. Stacey says Trump winning again would be the last real election we'll ever have. Well, that's bullshit. Trump winning isn't the end of democracy. It's called an election. You know, the same thing Biden did in 2020 while he hid in the basement and big tech and the media ran defense for him. Stacey says Trump will grab more executive power. That's bullshit. Biden's been signing executive orders like they're TikTok trends. Student loan bailouts, vaccine mandates, climate edicts, sweeping pardons. Or did he? More likely some millennial staffer with a man bun fired up the autopen while Grandpa Joe was busy with his afternoon pudding cup. But when the Democrats do it, totally fine. Stacey says Trump will neuter Congress and the courts. Bullshit. Democrats spent 4 years treating Congress like a rubber stamp and openly scheming to pack the Supreme Court because they didn't like the rulings. But sure, Stacey, this time it's a dictatorship. Then Stacey says Trump would gut the civil service to break government. More bullshit. Biden's DOJ and Pentagon cleaned house at the border and enforced their woke hiring quotas. Nobody cried autocracy then. Stacey says Trump would stack agencies with loyalists. That's bullshit. Biden's cabinet was full of diversity hires and sycophants who couldn't run a lemonade stand. Pete Buttigieg running supply chains? That's not merit, that's cosplay. Stacey says Trump will silence the media and build echo chambers. Bullshit. Democrats and big tech already censored Hunter's laptop, shadow banned dissenting voices, and turned the press into Biden's PR firm. The Biden administration literally pressured Facebook and Twitter to suppress conservative views in the name of misinformation. But please, tell us more about free speech. Stacey says Trump will blame minorities and DEI for problems. That's more bullshit. Democrats spent years blaming white working-class voters for everything from Trump's win to rising sea levels. Spare me the moral high ground. Stacey says Trump would sue pro bono law firms and attack philanthropies. Bullshit. Obama's IRS literally targeted conservative nonprofits, and nobody in Stacey's circle batted an eye. Stacey says Trump will send in the National Guard and kidnap people off the streets. More bullshit. Trump sent in the National Guard to protect federal assets from left-wing professional agitators, paid instigators who were already planning their little No King's Day tantrums. Meanwhile, Democrats cheered as Portland and Seattle burned for months. Stacey's just projecting her own party's chaos playbook onto Trump. Finally, Stacey says Trump will cancel elections. That's complete bullshit. The guy lives for rallies, debates, and handshakes. He'd campaign in a Waffle House at 3 a.m. if you let him. The only people trying to cancel elections are Stacey and her party. Democrats spent months trying to kick Trump off state ballots, and they've practically anointed Kamala as their 2024 candidate without a single primary vote. The only person canceling elections in this fantasy is Stacey. She's been canceling reality since 2018. And honestly, she and the Democrats are professional projectionists. They embellish, exaggerate, and then project their own dirty tactics onto Republicans. It's exhausting. And it's such unbelievable industrial strength. Bullshit. So there you have it. Stacey Abrams, the self-appointed defender of democracy, delivering a masterclass in projection. Democrats aren't worried about Trump turning America into an autocracy. They're worried he'll expose how close they were to taking us there. This is what they do. They embellish, they exaggerate, and then they project their own dirty playbook onto Republicans. Censorship? Check. Weaponized agencies? Check. Canceling opposition? Double check. These people aren't protecting democracy. They're performing a bad imitation of it. And after ringing up a dozen BS dings on the meter, let's call this what it is. Professional-grade, factory-sealed, industrial-strength bullshit. So if you're sick of their fear porn and projection, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and check out steadfastandloyal.com for the unfiltered truth. As always, stay informed, stay relentless, and stay steadfast and loyal. I'm Jimmy Clark. See you next time.